Great light, everybody. I'm going to make a video today. I wanted to talk about the queen, okay? And so I've been showing before how the queen and the king and the jack, how they're all connected, right? You get the king and the queen, and then they connect together, right, to help Jack. We could see this even in the zodiac. So let me turn this around so I can use the zodiac to explain. Okay, so on the zodiac, let's find our balance. We've got to put Cancer at the top of the wheel, right? And then we use the scales in Libra for balance. Okay, so here on the wheel, we've got our balance here in Cancer at the top, right? And then we've got Virgo over here. And I wanted to share... let me get this. I wanted to share some of the stories about... let me get this balanced again. The M. Okay, because you've got the M over here for Virgo, right? And then she's got this little attachment here, which kind of looks like an R when you draw it like this. So you got MR, right? It also kind of looks like a loop, right, with an M. And we know with the constellation itself, this is supposed to represent the sheath of wheat. Okay, and it's usually drawn like this with the 7. Okay, because she is the mother of the stars. She is Mary. Okay, she's the Virgo. Okay, so that's the story of Virgo, Mary, the Virgin, the mother who swallows all the stars here in beginning for man. Okay, and then a lot of people know also M for maiden. Okay, and maiden can also be used for the word a maiden voyage. Okay, maiden voyage. So it's a type of beginning, right? And it really is a type of beginning. And I've showed you before how the wheel is the sine wave, right? And then you unflip it. You unflip the sine wave to reveal the wheel. Well, right here at the center is the equinoxes, and that happens to fall on Virgo, right? And Aries. Okay, so you've got the woman with the child. Aries, the lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Mary's little lamb. Okay, and I've showed you before how the U is the U. Okay, so this is a story about Mary. Okay, and that's why she's holding the sheath of wheat, because she's got all the seeds, right? She's the one who swallows the stars. She's the one who also she makes the harvest. Okay, because she has the wheat. And we'll see a lot about the harvest here in the story of Scorpio. Okay. And Scorpio has this arrow right here. Now, if you've remembered in some of my past videos, I've shared before how the word flesh is flesh in French, which means arrow. So right here on Mary, you will find the arrow of the flesh. Okay. Now, this is also to represent the scorpion sting here. But notice how I've tied the Mary to the Mary. Okay, because with the flesh, the mother who swallows the stars, comes death. With the flesh comes life. With the flesh comes death. So this is why Mary, the maiden, and the M with the Scorpio, the Virgo, and this, they're all tied together with the M. Okay, to illustrate this story on how it's applied to the maiden. Okay, and notice how between these two signs is the balance. Okay, that's because in the balance, if you recall in Egypt, in the balance was always hung a feather. Okay, and the feather would rule out a sentence of life or death, right? So that's where the balance comes into play between these two signs. So these signs have a working together. Now notice over here in Sagittarius, you also find an arrow. Okay, now this Sagittarius is the centaur. Okay, and he has the arrow that protects us from the sting of Scorpio's death. So at the same time, the flesh also protects us from death. Okay, because we don't die. Our body dies in our place. Our body is the Christ that dies in our behalf. And you need to also know M is the letter 13. It's the halfway point of the alphabet. Okay, halfway through the alphabet. So you've got halfway through the alphabet would be 13.5. 13.5 plus 13.5. Okay. 13.5 and 13.5 is 27 for the letters of the alphabet. Okay, and 135, as we've talked about before, is ace. Okay, the cards tie in with this also because it's pertaining to the calendar, which is the cards. The deck of cards is all made from this template. This is where the deck of cards come from. This is where the dice come from. The dice are connected further with Saturn's square. Okay, if you're looking for the circle, here it is. If you're looking for the cube, you go to Saturn. And Saturn is the father, right? And his houses are right here. This is why he has two houses. Okay, traditional astrology. We don't want to change the tradition of these stories that have been around since beginning. Okay, because this is the zodiac. This is the all-seeing eye. It sees all. It doesn't change. Okay, this stays the same. These are all fixed. Okay. Now another part of this, if you'll notice, I've talked before about this too. This is entrance and exit. You enter between Taurus and Gemini. This is the enter into the game right here. This is the enter into the game. Because when we have our balance, right, this is where the pole is on the earth. This is the pole on the earth. This is the pole in Saturn. Okay, and he gave it to Mother Earth, right? So this is where the pole is, and this is where the entrance and the exit is found on the wheel. As you enter here, this is the split A. This is showing you part of the split A world. It's a circle, you guys. You see this circle? These two circles here? This is how they get the sign. Okay? You see this? You see the curves? So it's like this. It's like a circle and a circle together, right? And then they split apart and they create what you would say is a wormhole. Okay, and then from that's where we get the sign of Gemini. Okay, it's showing you the duality of the split A, the two worlds. Okay, the angel, okay, and the immortal. Okay, the angel and the mortal, the immortal and the mortal, whichever way you want to look at that. But you need to know we're both angels and gods. You can look at your birth chart and you see all your angels' scripts right here. Okay, you see that through your birth chart. You get to see your personal angel. Okay, I only get 10 minutes each time, but I also want to point out about the N. M-N. M-N. N14. Okay, N is pertaining to Capricorn in the house of Saturn. 2 M's, 1 M, and those come together right? So this is also explaining another